and welcome to My Xbox and Me, episode 494. I am one of your hosts, MC Mother Fixer, alongside the one and only Too Fresh Crash. Crash, how are you?
Hello. I waved and said hello, Fix. You saw that?
That was quick. Your timing is so off already. Like, I need you to calm down.
So normally I'm too slow, now I'm too fast. I got you.
Can you get it right, please, sir?
Next week.
I need a bit more rhythm, please.
Christmas cheer, Christmas holiday is gonna give me like perfect timing.
Perfect. Appreciate you. The one and only Matt P Video. How are you?
Very well. I was just about to take a sip of my Diet Coke. You interrupted me.
He was shocked I pushed to him. He was shocked that he was like, oh yeah, I am here. I am on the show this week.
There's no rhyme or rhythm to the order that you go in.
Nope.
No. Why would there be?
Well, I know.
Would that not be very boring if like every single week it was the same?
Would it not?
I was gonna let it go there for a longer, as long as I could. And then the returning of the sick man himself, it is Paul D. Spawn. Hello, Paul.
Actually, I'm gonna cough 1 second.
Oh Jesus! Look, we've killed him.
There we go.
We've literally killed him out on the podcast.
I didn't hear it. That was a fake cough. I don't believe it. Fake news.
It's called being professional and muting. I can
How dare you think of the audience? How dare you?
To be fair, I was just thinking of Matt, but you know.
What? Was I like coughing on last week's episode or something?
I don't. I've not listened.
Yeah, sick.
Literally, he is. But hey. Okay, good. Come on. Look, boys, I'm not even going to do the rigmarole this week. We haven't done it for a couple of weeks now, I'll be totally honest. We are going to talk, you've seen the title of this week's episode. We are going to talk about wokeness. And we're going to talk about the games industry and wokeness and things of that nature. Now, before we do this, we are all grown adults. We all have different opinions, and we are all allowed to voice those opinions. I have an opinion that probably not most people are going to agree with. And I'm open for that opinion to be changed. So I don't want to see no stupid ass comments being like, this guy's a da 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 blah 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 blah. Like, relax, yeah? I'm a grown adult. I know my opinions, but the reason why this has come up is because, number one, the internet has just become an absolute trash place to be lately. If I'm being totally honest, I feel like we've come through different generations of internet, haven't we? Right? Like we had the start of the internet that was just like free for all craziness. You know, we didn't know what was going on, and then we come into sort of. And correct me if I'm wrong at any point, boys, but like we came into some sort of, I don't know, organized chaos on the internet in a way, right? You had your bad places of spots you just didn't go because you knew they were just toxic, horrible, disgusting, despicable people. And
hi, 4chan.
You can again see I'm not getting myself enough for not doing that. You know what I'm talking about, like where these places live. But I feel like slowly but surely that has seeped into the entire culture of video game coverage, influencer, and the rest, really. So I thought we would just have a discussion about it. Obviously, the Game Awards have just happened. I think me, Kresh, came away from the Game Awards, and Kresh will speak for himself, but came away from the Game Awards very high on it, this was one of the best shows I think we've seen from the Game Awards in a very, very long time. I went to bed at like 4 o'clock in the morning. I woke up expecting a hurrah, like, oh my God, games are back, yada, yada, yada. And that isn't what I saw. I saw conversations being had, but not in the same form with which we're going to have it today, right? But in a way of like putting down females, putting down anything that isn't generic insert, we all know what I'm talking about here. So yeah, I just thought we'd have a conversation about our feelings on starting off with how we feel about the internet at the end of 2024. And I think Kresh is a great person to start with on this because he's withdrawn from it. So Kresh, the internet, how you feeling?
It's horrible. I think the internet right now is horrible, and I'm going to tell you, I thought going to Blue Sky was better, but I recently tried going on Blue Sky, and you see the toxicity not from the side that's on Twitter, but from the opposite side, where it's just constantly negative in the opposite direction, and it's sort of like there is no middle ground. There's no just speaking your mind. It's always speaking your mind to an extreme to get reactions and interactions, and I think that's kind of, from my perspective, that's kind of the problem with the internet. It's a constant need and want for people to interact with what you put out, regardless of what your opinion is, whether it's in the right, wrong, or in between. Like, that is completely irrelevant. It's the want for interactions that I think is the issue from me.
Matt, you're an interesting fella, in my opinion, on this subject. I think so. Well, because the reason I say that is because Chris has been a streamer, you know, and then stepped away from that world, and stepped away from the internet. And you are someone who works for you work for a large company who works on the internet. How do you feel about the internet? Because you're not a Twitch streamer. You're not someone who watches Twitch streams. I don't see you as a person that's out there on X/Twitter, you know, seeing too much of all these arguments all the time. Like, where do you come down on the internet at the moment?
I think, like, I'm in quite a blessed position that I manage a lot of the people who are doing all those things that you just described, right?
Yeah.
And so I see a lot of it, and I have to deal with a lot of it from that side of stuff. And people who work for PC Gamer or Games Radar that I work in the office with opposite, you know, and like, they're dealing with a lot of this stuff when they give a game a review score and the internet comes after them, you know, or whatever it is. And so I see a lot of it and it's always from like a business perspective, right? Yeah. And to be honest, I think that gives you an interesting perspective because the businesses are so big, more often than not, it's a case of it'll pass, it'll last a few days. The biggest one that I think we had this year was PC Gamer gave Warhammer 40k quite a low review score. I think lower than Gollum when they reviewed Gollum. And that was like, you saw that everywhere for a week. It didn't matter, like, you know, it didn't matter what you were posting, where you were posting it. People had found that and really latched onto it. And it was gone within 2 weeks. Do you know what I mean? And like, so these things they just pass by and they don't affect big business in the way that I think a lot of the people on Twitter, you know, leading this charge think that they have the power, and they just don't, right? Like, it just doesn't matter that much. It's all video games at the end of the day. None of it matters that much. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I get you. D-Spawn, a man who has many opinions on many things. I'm interested. Like, where do you come down on like the state of the internet and the video game space specifically? We're not talking about the internet altogether, but you know what I'm trying to say. Where are you at right now at the end of 2024 with it?
Trying to be as transgently connected to it as possible. So like, very much like, I am aware that my job involves me understanding trends and what people are watching and what they're liking. And when they comment, like looking for those constructive comments and criticisms and things that need to be changed. But the overall opinion, I don't really find the trends of like these arguments that we're seeing pop up specifically this year and obviously in previous years as well. I try to stay out of them as much as possible now. I have had first-hand interactions with people where I've commented on certain subjects that I've just found where they mean a lot to me, but I find that I will just not have those conversations online anymore because it's just not worth the hassle. Because as I think Crash admitted in the beginning, nobody wants to have a conversation anymore. Everybody just wants an echo chamber for their opinion, and they just want to voice it. And I think, well, I'm sure we'll get into the minutiae of it as well, but I think like the monetization of social media nowadays has caused irreparable damage to that like free marketplace of ideas that we used to have back in the day when it was like, you know, you're on MySpace and people are arguing about who their top 8 are, that kind of stuff. And it's like, you know, that was fun. That was like, you know, all right, granted you could lose a friend over it, but it's like
Shout out Tom.
Shout
all
out
day,
Tom.
every day.
But
He
it's
was
just
always
like
in my top 8.
yeah. But now it's like with like again, we'll talk about it properly, but the grifters of like the internet now, where it's like they're turning bad faith arguments into a money making scheme. It's just done so much irreparable damage to not just the gaming space. I just think societally, I think it has done as well. But yeah.
Yeah, I agree with everything that everyone said. I think I've realized, and I've realized I'm gonna make a video on it actually for the beginning of the year of like I'm gonna do a video called "I Failed 2024," because I feel like I really did draw back away from the internet this year in a way that now looking back on it, I'm like, oh yeah, don't get me wrong. It's like you guys are saying, right? Like I have my safe space, which is like my Twitch channel and my community, and I can be there, but I stopped putting my opinion out there on Twitter, Blue Sky. I literally use it as a tool now to only tweet ads. I've become one of those people that like I might put out a football tweet here and there, but that's about it. Like I really have become gun shy to put my opinion out there because I'm scared of what's going to come back on both sides. I'm not leaning either way on this conversation. I mean, I feel like I'm directly down the middle, and it's like I'm either going to be called this, that, or the other, or I'm going to be called this, that, and the other. And I feel like anything that I say on certain subjects cannot win. And I think that's what scares me the most. The games industry. We'll move on to like the games industry as a whole. And I wanted full context here, right? We are recording a bit earlier than I was expecting because I wanted to come with like full-on receipts and a whole argument, but I've not been able to do that, which is fine. So maybe we'll do a part 2 of this conversation next year, and we'll see where we're at next year. But the big conversation right now from the Game Awards is obviously, and I really wish we had a female perspective on this as well on this episode, and that is not lost on me. That we're about to talk about a topic that doesn't affect any of us, but we still have to have that conversation. So maybe we will do a part 2 on it that will hopefully have a female perspective on it. But women in gaming, right? Like, there's definitely a big conversation from the outside world that they have become, I guess, and again, I'm talking. I'm just gonna say it as it is. Do not take what I'm saying as what they're saying as my opinion. I'm just saying that. But like they're sick of women being the main focus of video games. Has that become something? Do you think that's true? Do you think we do get too many games in the last 2 to 3 years, let's say, that are female focused and female perspective focused, and they're not talking to what people would say, and I'm not saying this is factually correct, I don't have the numbers, but like, are their target audience anymore? Anyone want to kick me off?
Yeah. So I think when we were talking about having this conversation, I think I mentioned this. I feel like this is kind of like the natural outcome, that like we've all heard the stories of like 20 years ago in the gaming industry, it was a boys' club. It's like the CEO all the way down. It was a bunch of blokes, you know, who had their meetings in strip clubs and, you know, got drunk on the cash register, like the local kitty. And it's very much like, I feel like this is just becoming that point of like, now it's come to the head where we're starting to see the fruits of the more of the diversification, and like, you know, the companies actually catching up with how society should act with each other, whereas like we're seeing more women in the gaming industry, so we're seeing more women gamers taking up this hobby. So we're going to start seeing more female protagonists, because that is the people that are making these games more often than not nowadays. Well, not more often than not. It's still definitely heavily skewed towards the male demographic. But it's like we're starting to see more women in the industry who are wanting to make games about the lived experiences that they've lived, or they're wanting to tell stories about people that look like them, so that they can obviously market to people that look like them. So we're going to start seeing more women in the games industry. I don't think it's a case of like the game industry. I'm sure there are instances where some CEOs gone, oh, we need a hot looking woman on our box cover to try and sell a game, but I see that being few and far between. I feel it is just more a way, the natural way, the world of like more women in the industry means more women get represented in it.
Yeah, I mean, the industry is also just bigger, so there's more spots of influence, where before it was smaller. It was more of a wealthy hobby at one point. It got into all different sorts of markets over time. So I also think it's kind of, I think a lot of the people who make the argument about women being focused, it's also partly a disingenuous comment in part as well. Because if you look at the last Dragon Age game, they had chest scars that were some people said, oh, it's because they're trying to force you to be a trans character, ignoring the fact that you have, it also is something for people who survived breast cancer and had surgery and stuff like that. So there's just a lot of nuance that gets ignored to fit whatever sort of one-sided narrative fits that purpose. And I think saying that just there's too many females is like, we had Lara Croft before. Lara Croft is literally, that is the purpose of the character in part when she was originally introduced, was to sell copies of the game to a degree. So that's always been a part of the industry as well. It's just now they don't like the way the characters look or whatever. And it's just run down to, we're going to keep finding a reason to have issues with this because we do not see generally a white male face on the cover of whatever the game is, I feel like.
Yeah, I like the way you said what you said, Despawn, because again, I come into this conversation of like, I definitely have noticed there's more and more games that are obviously focused around female protagonists. I've definitely noticed it. Again, is it a negative to me? No. Do I have a problem with playing a female character? No. I think it's also just, it comes down to fitting the story, right? Like, as long as it's done for, that is the story you are trying to tell, and that is the experience that you want players to have, then there is no issue with it. Again, I played Dragon Age Valgard, right? And I played as a female character. All of the marketing, and I only realized it afterwards, was male character based. And then I saw it as a male, and I was like, oh, that looks weird to me. Now, because I've played through the entire game as a female, it's an interesting one. Go on, Matt.
Well, along those lines, I think the opposite of that is Fable, right? When Fable got announced and shown off, and the female lead that they're showing as the lead of Fable, we all know you're going to be able to create your own character in Fable. It's going to be whoever the fuck you want it to be.
Do we?
No.
I don't think so, Matt.
Sure, that would be a wild move for them to make.
I mean, they've
Do you really think that would be
the point is we don't know, right?
Yeah, we don't know.
Know that with Fable.
Yeah.
Okay, well then I take
I
back
agree with
everything
you.
I was
I
just about to say.
I think you will create a character in Fable.
I mean, I will also say I don't think you've ever created a character in Fable, unless again someone can quote me that you choose between the male and female character, and that's it.
I think you're correct.
Is it-
Yeah, you
well,
customize the character.
You definitely do like hair. You definitely do weight by eating food and like other things like that. Like there's a lot of customization available to you.
Okay.
I get what you're saying. I do get what you're saying. I think. Yeah, it's just I think it's one of those ones, right? Like I've back in the day before I got in the industry, I wrote an article, and again, I don't write as most people you know, but it was like my article was always, why does the default character always default to white when you start a game up? Always defaults to white. But that was me coming at it from the perspective of a mixed race guy 10 years ago in the industry, being like, hey, don't really make sense. And you still see that today. Not all the time though. Sometimes you do just have a randomized character. So that's definitely made a change. I think it's a mixture of things, right? Like I'm seeing more. I don't want to point out names to these creators because I just don't see the point in it. I don't think it does any benefit. But we all know who I'm probably talking about when I say it. Like you just see people rage baiting so much of like, oh look, another female character that's ugly. And it's like, once upon a time, like now we have better graphics, so now we make different characters looking differently. Like we don't use the generic blonde hair, blue-eyed, polygon boobs. Like what? Like that's not what we do anymore. Characters come in different shapes and sizes, and I think it's a good thing. But why is the industry struggle? Like I said, not the industry. Why is a certain part of our industry struggling with that? Like. Why does everything always have to be the quote on generic prettiness of something. I don't get it.
I think again, it's multiple reasons. Like obviously, as I mentioned before, very much like people are just using it as a bad faith argument to make money. So they're just looking for the next monthly conversation piece. There are just people that live sheltered lives who, like we're quite lucky that we spend our time on the internet with a range of people and have those range of conversations where we get those experiences. Some people just don't have that. People have been born into social media, where it's just like 90% of the conversations you have are online anonymously.
I think.
Go on, Crash.
I think also in part, like, this has been, we're talking about this now in gaming, about the perception of females and why we've moved away from that. But if you look at like modeling in general, modeling used to be very much like one type of body type, and you had to be really, really thin to be quote unquote an attractive, successful model. And that's changed as time. And I think there's ripple effects of that into other industries as well in gaming too. I can't speak to too much on that, and I don't know if that's 100% true, but that's just my perspective. I don't follow up on modeling too much, but
It's kind of exactly what I was going to say. Of the video game industry is the youngest art form industry, or one of the youngest art form industries, right? And this was true and always has been in every other art form industry. If you wanted to be an actress in the 80s, you had to be fucking hot, or an actor, you had to be hot. Like, these things are changing. Same with music. Same with, like, it mattered a lot through the early noughties and 90s. And so it makes sense to me that it would matter in gaming, and that gaming is the quickest to pivot, because all those other industries have had 60, 70, 80 years to be pivoting slowly. And if you look at some of the best paid actors and actresses in the world now, they're not always objectively
good looking. No, 100%. They're not objectively. Lewis Capaldi, I love the guy.
Sure.
Love his music.
Example.
Amazing. Not
only
fucking
because I think he would be
the
the first to put his hand up and say
No,
he's not
exactly.
gonna be
Is that no? 100%. 100%.
That MC Fixer guy, he's not a looker, but I like his music.
Susan Boyle, famously.
I fixed my teeth though. I'm just saying.
he moved up on the chart.
I did it.
He moved up a level. Yeah, it's fun.
But that would not have happened in the 50s and 60s, right? Like, you had to be hot. It had to be, and there's still definitely elements of that, right? Like, you look at all these like K-pop bands that swap out their people when they get too old and shit. Like, there's still, all this stuff is still going on. It will forever be a conversation of whether or not you are pretty enough to front a movie, band, even game, even when you're a fictional being fronting a game.
We had Stellar Blade released this year. I think the problem ultimately comes down to there is a middle ground where you can have both coexist. You can have this conventionally attractive character be the lead of a game, but you can also have the unconventional. And I think in a larger part of the conversation, there are people who have issues with both sides. There are people who have issues with the conventionally attractive, like unrealistically attractive sometimes character, and there are people who have issues with the unconventional characters. And I think there is sort of a middle ground that people have to become okay with. Is some people like certain types of characters, and there's not a fundamental issue unless it becomes a problem of abuse to a degree, and not abuse to a specific person, but abuse to a sort of an image or something like that, where all you're getting is one type of character or one type of thing, which isn't the case in gaming right now. People just like to fixate on the thing that they have a problem with and sort of champion the thing they like when it suits them best for a conversation.
It also it comes back to the story and what you're trying to say with your main character, right? Like Abby in The Last of Us, who received a shitload of heat when that all happened for multitudes of reasons, one of which was, oh my God, how can a woman be this muscly? It's like, she's in a post-apocalyptic world. She's been hunting down the killer of her father for the past 4 years or whatever. Yeah, she's turned herself into a fucking machine to murder this guy. I'm all for it. Like, everything connects here and makes perfect sense.
Only that. In that world, it's even makes even more sense. If you go, when you play that game and go through their base and stuff, it's like the brilliant gym equipment everywhere, and like it's like, yes, she would be able.
She's part of an army.
I think D-Spawn said it right though. I think the thing I always forget, and again, I'm from London, right? Grew up Southeast London. I'm from London, probably one of the most diverse cities in England, right? Like, I am used to seeing different shapes, sizes, people, all of it, and sometimes I forget and again, it comes back to that conversation we had on the podcast last week, right? Like, I'm like, 1951, England. I don't think about Japan or any other country. I think of England, right? And sometimes I think I forget that I'm in my London bubble. And I'm like, I shouldn't, because I've been to Texas. And I've been to the Royal of Texas. And I've heard, no disrespect to anyone from Texas, but I've heard the way they speak. So why does it then surprise me that there are other people on the internet, not just from Texas, from around the world, who also can't grasp the fact that a video game character can be ugly or not? And again, I'm not even saying any of these characters are ugly, but are not the quote unquote traditional good looking. Yeah, I think you and Krish, not so much Matt, he sucks. It broke it down for me in my brain really well, and I appreciate it, because sometimes sometimes even me, I'm like, I like looking at pretty, not just women, men as well, but like pretty characters. I do. Like that is something that if I was to choose of the two, what I would go for, it would be on the generical prettiness of a character. Now, that doesn't stop me from playing any video game in any world that isn't that, but that's what I would go for. But maybe that's just because society has trained my brain so much of like, that's what I then expect in a weird way. And I don't know if that makes me wrong for it either. And that's the hard part, to have those conversations when they come up on the internet, right? Like the Fable conversation came up, and it's like, I remember just being like, nope, don't say anything. Because if I go on Twitter and say, yeah, I wish she was prettier, I'm going to get a lot of hate. And does it matter? No. Doesn't matter at all. But it's a weird one. I don't know. How can I articulate that in a way that doesn't cause hate and harm? And again, it's so hard, because again, I'm not just talking about female characters. There's a bunch of ugly male characters that I don't like either, by the way. This isn't a female thing for me.
I don't think there's any way you can articulate it, because people have problems with people having opinions.
Yeah, okay.
And so if you say, like, I do not find this character attractive, or whatever the case is, it then becomes you saying they're ugly and all sorts of stuff that you didn't say. I
didn't even say.
Right?
Yeah.
And so it does go into slippery slope. And then you also, there's also another problem if you say that, people will co-sign what you say and misconstrue it to make it say, oh, even Fix agrees,
even
these
Fixer
characters are ugly and they should change and they're horrible and all this stuff. And so there's just a problem in general with, I think that's a larger internet problem as well. Yeah.
Because there's also the insinuation is, if you just come out and say, okay, I think this character is ugly, the insinuation and the thing that people will latch onto is, the game is going to fail because of that.
But
and this needs to change for the game. But that's what the conversation.
I know, yeah.
And then therefore this needs to change, and the industry needs to change if these games are going to be successful, right? And because games companies are trying to jump on diversity for diversity's sake, to try and be successful and manipulate the audience into thinking they care. That's kind of no, of course not.
Yeah. We can slip into that conversation if we want to, which is, do not get it twisted. I don't give two craps about diversity. Like, I don't care.
I think for sure there are people inside of these companies where the decisions are made that care about diversity.
Absolutely.
But the higher ups who are like, yeah, sure, we can do diversity, aren't doing it because they agree, like, yeah, we should have more diversity. From their perspective, it's, oh, this diversity is going to give us a bigger paycheck. It's the same reason why they were like, oh, no, you can't have diverse characters in the past. The character has to be a white male, brown hair, blue eyes, blonde hair, whatever the case is. You have to be this.
Are games failing because of the side that the internet say they are, which is, all the stuff we've just spoken about? Do you think there's a game out there that exists that came out in 2024 that came and went, and they failed because their characters are too, and to use the word, woke? Is there any game out there?
No. In general, the games that people would make an argument for generally always tend to just be bad games. Like, the game is fundamentally not great. I can't think of any off the top of my head right now, which is a problem. But I do know there have been one or two this
Dragon
year.
Age just failed. There's like whether I love the game. I think the game's you put it has failed.
Yeah,
Like
the problem with Dragon Age, from my perspective, I haven't played it, but from what I've heard everybody speak on with Dragon Age is the writing isn't up to par with BioWare writing. The gameplay is brilliant, all this other stuff. The writing is not great, and so you can say it's because of like the wokeness in that game. I would argue, from an outside perspective, it doesn't seem like that's the people's biggest complaints with the game. It doesn't.
The game isn't.
That's why it got the reviews it got.
I don't think that game is woke. I think by the end of that storyline, it made perfect sense and made sense for that character. And actually, again, for a character that I didn't like, just because I didn't like the character, nothing to do with their identity, to turn into a character that became my mainstay and I actually really enjoyed learning about. So I agree. I don't know.
With the
More so than games failing because they are woke, they're failing because they're getting caught in the conversation about them being woke. Like that's what I think happened to Concord. Concord was fine. Concord's characters are fine. It's middle of the road, but it's a live service game that people need to keep playing, and people were talking about it and trashing it way more than they were playing it. Yeah. And so it became financially inconceivable to keep it going, apparently. I don't know what really happened there, who knows. But like the fact that the conversation was so feverish around it in the wrong way, I think led to its downfall. Whether or not it was actually woke is irrelevant. It got caught up in that narrative.
But even if you look at Concord, like Concord's issues weren't just the wokeness. It is also just a gameplay perspective. It wasn't perceived as an interesting Overwatch type game, right? Look at Marvel Rivals came out. Marvel Rivals, even from a gameplay perspective right away, caught people's attention. Concord failed to do that even with people who played the betas and stuff like that. Like it was fun enough for like the 2 hours they played, but it wasn't fun enough to keep going back. And so, yeah, sure, I agree to a degree. The wokeness definitely like gets into the mix and muddies that conversation and worsens people's reception. But I don't think even in that case, that's the only thing you can look at for that game.
I totally agree. It's not the only thing. I do think it's a major factor.
I don't think it's a major factor at all. I think the reason Concord failed is because it was a middle-of-the-road live service game trying to charge you £40 in a sea of free-to-play games that were better than it.
But none of that means that Sony kills it after 2 weeks.
If no one's playing it after 2 weeks.
Nobody bought it. I think that's the problem. There's a barrier to entry to that game. Like,
you
sure,
give it
if it's
longer than 2 weeks. You've spent $400 million on it. It's Sony. You give it longer than 2 weeks.
You spend $400 million on it. It sells 2,000 copies or whatever. You cut it off when you see it's not going to be a success, and you take whatever tax or business or whatever types of write-offs you can do right away.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. But I just
it's
think
the same reason,
such a short lifespan.
No, I agree, but it's the same reason Warner Brothers never put out the Batgirl movie. It's because they made more off of not putting out that game.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say Marvel Rivals for a sec. Wolverine ugly. I won't play him because he's ugly.
Dude.
That's a fact. Like,
the base skin they chose is not great. It's
ugly as hell. It's ugly. He's ugly. I just wanted to point out another ugly character that I refuse to play because of him being ugly. I love Wolverine. Wolverine, one of my favorite characters. Don't care. He ugly. I ain't playing it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's the costume skin that looks good.
Yeah, the Marvel costume was great. Yeah.
Yeah, the actual like suited up costume looks good.
Okay, I'll play with him then.
Pretty
Go
good
on,
price.
D1. You've not been brought into the conversation, so please, what was you going to say if you can remember?
I cannot. Again, Concord, I'd like to say, I made my point about Concord. I think there were multiple reasons why that game failed, and I don't think it was anything to do with the wokeness. I think the problem is the wokeness and the conversations around it are very loud minority voices. Like, I think they're getting louder, and I think they are, repeatedly, while they can keep making money out of it, and there's a whole social media site that will keep paying them to do that. I think we're going to keep having.
I just want to defend it. It's not just X.
No, it's not.
I'll
be honest.
It's not just X. It's YouTube Shorts. It's YouTube. It's every platform.
I was referring to YouTube.
Oh, okay, fair
I'm
enough.
talking about the people making
Okay.
YouTube videos about it. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
fair
as long
enough,
as
fair
as long
enough.
as they've got their ad revenue and all that kind of stuff, and they're getting the views,
Yeah.
like they'll keep doing it. As long as there's a business in it, like people will try and make money out of it. The joy of capitalism, But man, I don't know. Like, I don't know what point I want to try and raise right now. But like, 'cause I think I've covered everything pretty succinctly. Like, while, yeah, like. Yeah, I'm going to stop talking because, again, I think there's other points that people can make and that I've already made multiple times.
What can we do? Like, as MXAM, like our tiny little cubby hole on the internet, what can we do to have better conversations is my thing. And I guess that's a very heavy conversation. But like, I don't know. I feel muzzled right now as a creator. I feel like I'm damned if I'm doing, I'm damned if I don't. Like me, I can't talk for everybody else, right? But like, I really am scared to talk in certain instances, and maybe that's because again, I've gotten to a place in my life now where things are very different for me than they once were, right? Like obviously, if you know what I do for a living and my career paths and things like that, you know where that all goes. What can we do to still have good, sensible conversations where you can express your thought and I come in with a conversation of like, yeah, I don't like ugly characters, and you guys go, yeah, but the bum and change my mind. Like, what can we do?
I think
This instead of tweeting it, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
okay, I think it's very much a case of coming into the conversation from a sense of good faith. It's like knowing that you want it to be a conversation, you want to like share those opinions. I think we have a really good rapport of being like when we don't agree with it, we talk it out, and like sometimes we get a bit overzealous about those conversations, but it's like it's all in good faith. Like no one ever leaves the podcast hating each other, except for Matt.
I
He
do
sucks.
every week.
Yeah, everyone hates Matt. But no, it's like it sounds cliche, but it's speak to people how you want to be spoken to. And this doesn't just in this conversation that we're having here. I think it's how more people should react outside as well. I know it's hard to do, but it's like go into conversations not expecting everyone to agree with you all the time. And when they don't agree with you, try and find a middle ground. And if you can't find a middle ground, that's fine. But at least go into it trying. I think there's a lot of people coming into these conversations very like argumentative, or it's very binary as like this is the right opinion, this is the wrong opinion. There's no shade of grey whatsoever. It's very much either agree with this or we're enemies. And that's not how life works. That's not how conversations work. It's like I could be like Fixie be like, Resident Evil's the best horror game ever. I'd be like, well, I don't know, man. That Silent Hill series. I mean, it's not like Resident Evil is great, but it's like
You're an idiot. I hate your guts.
But it's like we can be like, well, I
like.
like the more, like I like the more deep-seated kind of like horror. Like again, I think I mentioned it last time we were talking about it. It's like I like the art house feel to a Silent Hill. You like the Hollywood glitz and glamour of Resident Evil, and it's like finding those common grounds. Like, all right, yeah, you like this, you like that, but we both like horror.
Yeah,
And it's like finding that common ground. Like
It's also like when you're having conversations with friends, me and Fix have aggressive ass arguments
Oh,
sometimes.
yes, we do.
But we're friends, so when we walk away at the end of it, it's not from a perspective of volatile like hatred for each other, right? Where when it's online and people have those same sort of conversations, it is just absolute disgust with the person who doesn't share their opinion. And I think there is a sort of disconnect there where you do see people like me and people will see me and Fix have those sort of conversations, and they'll view it in a specific way of sort of like absolute like I despise Fix based off that opinion you gave that I disagreed with and stuff like that. And so there is a moment of you have to remove yourself from the parasocial aspect of it, from that you are not sitting in that conversation, you are not me and Fix, you are not the relationship we have and the way we talk to each other, you know.
Absolutely. You're not. You haven't been in the Discord calls where we are just sat there shooting the shit. We know. Yeah, it is. You know what? That's a very good point. Actually, like after we've known each other now for a really, not just me and you, like all of us now, for a really long time, where we can say fuck you to Matt, and Matt doesn't. Matt doesn't come on the podcast
and he's gone. For the audio listeners, he's walked off.
No, but you know what I mean? Like we've been doing this such a long time now. That it's very interesting. It's very interesting. But
Yeah.
go on.
I'm gonna say that, but again, it comes from that fact that we've all had those conversations. We've all we all understand each other, and it's like everyone's so quick to not want to bother understanding. They just want to. I think right at the beginning, Crash said people want to drop their opinion and walk away, and come back to their 1,000 likes from like-minded folks.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that conversation anymore, and I think I genuinely think it's a detriment to society the way that social media has kind of eroded that. And I think that's where we're seeing these kind of conversations pop up, these bad faith arguments, because everyone was like, "Oh well, this is bad." It's like, but why is it bad? Can you find some good in it? Like, can you see why the people who like this? You might not like it. That's fine, and you're entitled to that opinion. And we can have a conversation about it. And like, no, it's bad. Give me my ad revenue because I've told you it's bad. And I think. Yeah. Again, it feels quite weird saying this out loud, but like as somebody who shares an opinion every week on the internet about video games, and like today we're having a wider conversation. Pick the people you get your opinions from a bit better as well. Like recognize those like bad faith grifters. Get your opinions from multiple sources. Get them from people you don't agree with as well.
Yeah,
because echo chambers cause these kind of issues as well. If you hear 1,000 people of like hundreds of people telling you this is the way to think, and then you see one person going, no, actually maybe think it this way instead, you're like, well, no, these hundreds of people have told me the right way. You're wrong because you're a dissenting voice. It's like, no, find those dissenting voices.
My recommendation when you're looking for people who give their opinions, it's not to focus on what the opinion is, it's to how they articulate and where their opinion comes from. Is there a logical thought process to where they end up? Or is it just sort of, I have a feeling and I'm going to pull out information to back my feeling, instead of like, I can break down like the exact like course as to where my thought came from. And you might not agree with it, and that's perfectly fine, but you know that they came from it from a rational space, as opposed to like, I chose to hate on this, and so I'm going to find all the facts that support me hating on it.
Yeah, I think it's a case of finding the people that go for facts forming conclusions rather than conclusions then backed up by facts.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Matt?
Yeah. Matt's got an opinion.
No, I haven't. I just really struggle with it. Like when this conversation comes up of like, oh, the video game industry has gone woke, or like this game is going to fail because it's woke, or it failed because it's woke. I don't know what that means.
Yeah,
doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't. That's the thing. It doesn't mean anything. It's basically
Games do not fail because they're woke. Because when a game does well and it's woke, they find any excuse for it to. Oh, it wasn't woke enough, or it didn't. Look at Baldur's Gate. The people who are mad at Baldur's Gate for being woke originally found 1,000,001 excuses as to why it's escaped that sort of like, it failed because it's woke. It is an irrelevant. It's like, you cannot quantify what woke is by any measure, because you can make an argument that Stellar Blade having a conventionally attractive character is in a sense woke, because it is an underrepresented character in the larger scheme of gaming right now. You can make that argument. You can make the argument for whatever you want to be woke to be valid. It is a dumb argument that makes no sense.
Yeah,
I know it's going to do really well in the title of this episode.
Yeah, 100%. So like, the Merriam-Webster's dictionary has defined woke as aware and actively attentive to important facts and issues.
Yeah, this is.
So I would hope that the video game industry is woke.
Yeah.
I would hope that every industry is woke. I would hope that every person I meet is woke.
Yeah, this is the thing. I came from like, I think I'm the oldest one on this podcast by a margin, but I'm very well aware of when woke became common use, and not as a derogative term. Like, it was very much the people that were socially aware, people that cared about certain subjects, and put their time and effort into those things. They were the people classed as woke. And then it suddenly got like with a lot of words, it got twisted and turned into this automatic negative. Whereas like if you care about women being represented, you're a detriment to the gaming industry. If you want to see trans people in games, or you want to see non-binary people, then it's a negative. Man, it like Matt says, it means nothing, but it does so much damage.
And everything.
Yeah, because at the end of the day,
Sure.
the people that are like directly affected, like say the women, the trans people, the non-binary folks, the people of color, I mentioned. See, I know.
That's me.
I know.
That's me.
That's you, baby. Those are the people that see this every day and see these people like speak out online of like, it's the otherness of society. Is like these don't fit into the cookie cutter like dimensions of what we think should be represented, so they're less than, or they're seen other than, and it's like without getting
I got one the other day on the Ubi. I don't know if it was you. I don't know if it was moderating or not. I was on the Ubi, and the comment was, "Of course, the host is black."
I did see that. Yeah,
and I literally just responded with, "Why did I get it? What did I do?"
catching
50 Cent meme.
catching strays.
I wanted to say, "Why did you say fuck me for?" But I couldn't, right? But I was just like, "What the hell did I do?" Like that was like, and it was just like a first message, and it was just like, "What? Like why did I catch a stray today? Like I'm playing bloody, I don't know what I was playing, Rainbow Six, I think.
Yeah.
It was like I'm playing Rainbow Six. How did I catch a stray here?" But no, it's interesting. I think it's an interesting conversation. Again, I do think it's one we should visit again in 6 months' time or whenever the next outburst is. And I do think we need a woman on the podcast just to get a different perspective on this from a woman's perspective, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Because again, we're a bunch of men talking. Go on.
I was gonna say, just to be that woke guy, didn't even have to
Sure.
be straight up cookie cutter female, like anyone femme presenting,
No,
but someone who
sure.
is directly affected by these conversations. Like if if you're, I was gonna say if you're podcast trained, like I'm fucking podcast trained. I don't know what the hell
We're
I'm doing on
podcast
here.
trained, baby. We're podcast trained.
Yeah.
Matt definitely isn't. Look at those boxes in the background. Terrible.
Yeah. I don't know.
Should we move on? Should we move
Yeah,
on?
let's move on. Move on.
Should we talk about what's been in our box? Matt, I'm coming to you. What have you been playing?
I've been playing Indiana Jones, and that's
Yeah.
basically all I've been playing.
Good.
It
to me.
is good. It's way better than I thought it would be. I mean, we all predicted the Metacritic scores. I think I was well off. I think I said like 72. And hey, I'm happy to be proven wrong. Everybody's got a good video game. What a great video game coming into Game Pass. Yeah, I'm like
Game
I
Pass
think,
Ultimate.
Yeah,
On
of
PC.
course.
You said it correctly on this podcast. We're not letting them get away with that bullshit.
Yeah.
Ultimate.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, Game Pass Ultimate. But yeah, look, it's good, isn't it? It's really good. Troy Baker's really good. The structure of it is nothing like I thought it would be. I've probably played the 4 or 5 hours. I've only just left the first area, like the Vatican. It's brilliant. It's really good. I don't know if.
So you say that? No, it's interesting you say that because again, I looked it up like how long to beat, and I had a few people in my chat saying, "Oh, it's very short," and I was like, "Oh, is it? Have you played it?" And they're like, "No, not yet." But I looked on how long to beat, and like to complete the entire story, was coming up about 11 hours.
I think if you blitzed it, you probably could. Yeah. I have had some weird things where like I've done things that are like side objectives and then continued the main story, and characters have acted like I haven't done these things.
I hate that. I hate
I've heard
it.
about
Unless I misread the situation. It was such a glaring issue. Did you mind spoilers for the first like couple of hours of the game?
Yes, because I'm going to be playing.
Yeah, well, there you go. You're fine.
It's fine. It was such a glaring issue though that I was like, how? Surely this
Well,
is.
I had that in
must be
Dragon
missing
Age.
something. I must be missing something.
In my Dragon Age playthrough, I had it where I went and fought a dragon. They're like, "Oh, this is the first dragon you've taken down," and I'm like, "We've taken down 3 dragons together. What do you
Yeah,
mean
okay.
this is our first dragon?"
Very, very similar kind of thing.
Yeah.
It sounds like
Yeah.
And
But I've
so,
heard that,
yeah, but I'm really enjoying it, and like I like the. I don't know, like I'm not a huge Indiana Jones guy, but I'm enjoying the like haphazard. It feels like a 90s action movie where like I'll pop around a corner and some Nazi will see me and I'll like knock him over the head with a guitar or something, and I'm just like good at it. I think it's like combat wise really easy. Like I'm more than happy to just take on like 20 Nazis hand to hand, or like I spent a while at the top of a staircase just shooting guys as they ran up the staircase for ages. Like, you know, when you alert everybody in the area and they all decide they're coming and nobody's actually going to put any thought into it, they're just going to run at you over and over and over again.
Is the combat fun? Because you're saying it's interesting, you're saying it's funny, you're saying it's, you know, but I haven't heard the word fun come out of your mouth when it comes to the combat yet.
No, it's not.
Okay.
The combat is not fun, but the exploration is fun.
Sure,
And I'm unlocking like moves that maybe will make the combat fun. At the end of the Vatican, you have to do a boss battle, which is just a dude with more health than any reasonable human being should ever have, and and that was boring as hell, and I hated it. And you know, you just keep running around the room and punch him in the face, and then run around the room and punch him in the face. It's like, okay. But yeah, like, yeah, I don't know. It's good. It's way better than I thought it would be. I'm enjoying it a lot. Over Christmas break, I want to juggle that and Stalker, because I want to get in Stalker. Will Stalker pull me away from Indiana Jones? Maybe.
You need to try Fantasio.
I have tried Fantasio.
Oh, okay, then you're fine. It's just me then. It's just me. Don't worry about it, guys. Don't worry about it. It's just me.
I previewed Fantasio.
Sure. Okay, fine. Whatever.
It's so not Amiga. Like,
I know it's not. I know.
That's fine.
That's what I'm scared of as well. And you know what? It's going to win Game of the Year, and I'm going to be fucking angry. I'm going to be so angry. It's going to be so annoying. But, yeah.
That and a lot of Balatro, obviously. Always Balatro. Always.
My guy.
D-Spawn, what you played?
Surviving the Flu. It's a really cool game. You should check it out. No, I've really not played that much. Again, my evening Balatro addiction still carries on strong on mobile. Still can't manage to get that second run yet, but I'm getting close. And then I played about maybe 20 minutes, half an hour of indie. I got to the school. That's about it.
Super early.
Yeah, like I have barely touched it. The only thing to say about that is I played it on cloud just because I was stuck on the sofa with the Xbox One X rather than Series. Played well. Cloud is getting better.
I fully intend on putting it through its paces over Christmas. I'm bouncing around family and stuff. And yeah, I'm going to try out Stalker and try out Indie on it.
Yeah, and wait to see what more games get added to the, the games that you own portion of it. To see if it's
what's on there at the moment.
I don't think there's that much.
It's a list of 100 games, I think.
Yeah, I lied. There's 100 games. It's quite a few games.
I think they released 100 games.
Yeah,
I think there are like multiple games in a franchise where it's like 3 or 4 of them from a franchise as well. So it does like dwindle the numbers depending on how you look at it, I guess.
But unfortunately, like I said, I've been quite ill, so I've not been really gaming, and this week is like the last week of work, so lots of working hard. But my plan is next week to do a lot of Metaphor, Indie, and Path of Exile. Really enjoying Path of Exile. So,
nerd.
Yeah, I am a nerd.
I saw that. I told Crash. I saw the skill tree, and I went nope. I said nope. I went no fucking.
The skill
way.
tree is really. I'm going to tell you, it's really not daunting. It's not.
It looks big,
sure.
but it's not daunting.
It looks absolutely terrifying.
You'll be better off.
I would much rather just wait for that game to be out before I play it as well.
I was going to say, you wait a year, and then whatever class you'd want to play will probably have a guide of like, you start here, you get these like specific upgrades, and you're set. You don't need whatever the case is.
Yeah.
I remember for like quite a short period of time, the skill tree was like a thing people wanted to see. Like, there's a new Assassin's Creed game coming. Where's the screenshot of the skill tree? I want to see the skill tree in the
skill trees got horrible almost immediately after they were introduced.
It was so short-lived.
Other genres.
So short-lived.
Crash, what have you been playing?
I played Path of Exile 2 a little bit. I stopped playing because I know if I keep playing that game, I'm going to get lost in it, and I need to finish Metaphor, and I need to finish Final Fantasy, and I need to finish Like a Dragon. I need to finish those 3 games. Yeah, Fix. You're making faces. You don't think I'll finish them?
I'm not saying no. I'm not saying anything. I'm very disappointed.
And what?
The fact you haven't finished Like a Dragon, it disappoints me.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm playing a better game, so.
Oh no, I'm sure, but it disappoints me. That's all.
Sure, it disappoints you.
Is Infinite Wealth one of those games? If you owe, you can play it through the cloud.
You're gonna have a look.
Have a look for me, Despawn.
I'll do some
Pull up.
research while you talk about your gaming exploits.
Yeah, go on.
I have more games. Unless you're going to talk more about that, Fix. Warframe 1999. I played the brand new update. I think this is very much a Despawn update, by the way. I know you don't play Warframe Despawn, but it is like a 90s cyberpunk-esque aesthetic. You got motorcycles. It's very, very... I played this and I was very much like, this is... Despawn would absolutely love this. Maybe not the rest of Warframe, but he would love this section specifically.
Can you just jump in? Like, can they give you a
you have
role
to,
you have to have a character
you
built
have
up
to, you
and
have
stuff?
to have up to that point because it's like it's very narrative heavy, so you have to get up
yeah.
to that point. Even if they would let you skip to it, I would probably say no because then I don't think it would make any sense.
Gotcha.
For you.
Does it make any sense anyway?
The woman did say on stage that it makes no sense.
It makes no sense to a degree, but it also makes sense. It makes sense in Warframe. It doesn't make sense. It's like one of those things where you play Kingdom Hearts. Everything that happens in Kingdom Hearts makes perfect sense for Kingdom Hearts. You like leave that little bubble and you're like, that actually made no sense whatsoever.
Is it
I think
like
the same thing goes on in Warframe?
Is it like Destiny? I would put in this bucket of going like, I know there's a story. I know that people care about this. I have no fucking clue what's going on Destiny, and I've put probably 100 hours into that universe.
That's because you stopped paying attention. Destiny has even Destiny had like a very through, like it would be similar to Destiny. Yes.
Okay.
There is a narrative there for people who care about the narrative. If you don't
Sure.
care about the narrative, just run around, shoot things, you know?
Cool.
Because you do shoot in Warframe Despawn, in case you didn't. Like you,
Yeah,
there's a
Despawn.
gun, you shoot.
Yeah, Despawn.
Yeah.
I heard that. I heard about that. Yeah.
And then the other game I've been playing, which the three of us did play, Marvel Rivals.
Oh, yeah, I played that.
Marvel Rival. I love this game. This game is so good.
It's fun, right?
It's very,
much
very
fun.
good. It is.
No,
Fix
don't
isn't a
like
fan.
it.
It's not a fix again.
To be fair, Fix was barely hanging on by a thread as he was playing the game.
I wasn't.
Yeah.
I was worse for that wear that day. Number one. Number two, I just realized I don't like hero shooters. Number one, that's
Not
just
surprising.
not
Unless it's
my
Rainbow
genre.
Six.
Again, we've had this discussion. I don't classify Rainbow Six as a hero shooter, but sure, I'm not gonna have that argument. Fine, whatever. Unless it's Rainbow Six, sure. But I did say if Matt wants to play it, because I don't know if Matt's played it, I did say I would be totally open to playing it again with everybody. But no, I don't think it will even touch my top 10 this year.
I have not played it. Am I intrigued? I got into Overwatch 1 when it launched. And obviously I'm a big Marvel guy. But I'm assuming there's very little in the way of like actual Marvel goodies in here. There's not a story.
There's a huge story, and it's very fleshed out, by the way. Like, it's very, like, I was surprised by how fleshed out it is. Characters have backstories. Their backstories tied to each other. There's a whole narrative universe. I was very, very shocked by how in-depth the world story
How is any of that delivered to you?
There's part of it delivered in maps. Part of it is delivered in character bios. It's all, like, they deliver it through various means. So it's not... like you're gonna see a cut. It's not Concord where they're gonna give you cutscenes every season.
Yeah,
What? That's crazy. Why
They
not?
do a weekly thing as well, where I think they unlock like a little bit of an extra story as it goes through. Right, it's like it's just like a read within like the not the season pass, but like the story pass, as it were. Whereas like it just kind of like breaks out a little bit of the extra story. So like what's happening.
Yeah.
Give me the footnotes. What's the story, Crash?
Two versions of Doom are fighting, and it's fractured the universe, and so characters are coming from different universes to sort of whatever the case is. So like Spider-Man comes from a universe where Morbius or Dracula's taken over. I'm pretty sure it's Dracula's taken over, and he's in the same universe as Punisher, and I think Moon Knight's from that universe. And there's like connecting plots through them, and so you'll have characters interacting based off different universes, and they'll have voice lines with each other and things like that. Yeah.
Sounds cool.
It is cool.
Yeah.
Also,
other than that, go
I was
ahead.
going to say I did find a new main after we played.
Oh.
I am now a Mantis main. I am all in on that support. It's so much fun.
Oh yeah, because your lack of aim doesn't matter in that. I got you.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself, yeah? Yeah.
I liked Iron Man after a while. I played as Iron Man. He was pretty good.
Yeah.
I suck at
Iron
him,
Man. From what I've seen on TikTok of the meta, Iron Man is considered the worst.
Yeah, he's
but that makes sense. That makes sense.
Have you seen the thing on the meta of like the game is a bit broken, whereas like you have to shoot to the right of characters to hit
Yes,
them?
I have seen that.
Yeah.
I've seen that too.
That's a third-person game
Yeah.
problem in general. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's not just Marvel Rival. I think it's just however the cameras work for it, for whatever reason.
Yeah. So yeah, don't enter the left.
Crossplay? Question mark.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, let's do it then. We got
It's
to do
free to
it.
play,
We
it's
gotta do it.
crossplay. Not
I'll
cross
download it on the
progression.
old PC.
You don't have to do it.
No cross progression yet. Oh, Matt wants to. Fix.
Matt wants to.
We can
Matt
do
wants
it.
to fix.
Okay.
We can do it.
We can do it. We can do it. Yeah. Matt wants
Okay,
to.
all right, guys. I'll be there. Okay. Anything else, Crash?
More metaphor right now. I'm hoping to get that done this week, and then next week I finish up both Like a Dragon and Final Fantasy, and then after that, end of the year, and we have our end of the year discussion.
How many hours into Metaphor are you?
70. 70. I want to say 70.
That hurt to just hear. I don't have 70 hours.
It's a long game. It's good. It's very, very good. What?
I want that on the record right now. I will not be Metaphor. I will play
you
it. I will probably put about 10 hours into it to have my opinion on it for the Game of the Year discussion. But I will not beat Metaphor. And the reason is I am back on roleplay.
Yeah.
I took a long break.
did. Yeah, but the question is, and it is every week when you tell us you're playing roleplay, are you still enjoying it?
At the moment, yes.
Good.
And I don't think that I will be playing when I don't enjoy it because I don't have an interest in that anymore.
Good.
I don't have to. Go on.
Yeah.
Do you think it takes you through to GTA 6?
That's the plan. Do I think it will? No. Unfortunately, not. So to give a bit of context, I know people don't care about roleplay and stuff, but I'm still going to give a little bit of context anyway. I found a group of people. We plan on a public server, which means it's not a whitelist server and anyone can join it. Yada yada. So I was playing with a group of Red Dead Redemption role players, and they are night and day different. Like they are some of the best role players you'll ever meet. Because again, they've played Red Dead Redemption, where you actually have to role play a character. You
Everything
can't
is
really
slow,
be yourself. Everything's slow. You're on doing long horse riding, going across that map takes an hour. Like if you're doing like a long ride and you need to come up with stuff while you're doing that and those sorts of things. So I was playing with a group of them, and they've all left now. Unfortunately, they've gone and played Red Dead again. But I've still got a group of people that I'm enjoying the role play with enough at this moment in time. So yeah, but people have definitely vocalized they want more variety again already. So, but yeah, I beat a lot of games though. I beat a lot of RPGs. I beat Astrobot. I don't know if I did speak about that on last week's episode though. Yeah, and yeah, I haven't played anything else since. The next game on the list is Indie, but I'll be honest, I just haven't been motivated to want to play it. And that's just the long end and short end of it. I wasn't that interested anyway. I am going to play it because I have to play it. It's my job to have an opinion on it.
I like it.
I
think I like it.
I think I will as well, but I'm just not I'm not motivated for it, you know?
Yeah. It's getting over that initial hurdle of starting it is, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. The problem is and I think next year that has to be my thing. When the code comes through my inbox and I get it, I have to start it, play it till it's done, and then put it down. I can't, no juggling for me anymore. I can't do what you do, Matt. I can't. I have to start a game, play it through, and stop.
I don't really juggle. I just drop games.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, fair.
I don't often go back and finish games.
I can't drop. If I'm enjoying it, I have to finish it. I have to.
Like, for example, finish Shadow of the Erd Tree. I'm right there.
I should go back to that.
That's wild to me. That is wild.
Tell you what, Matt, do you want to, what are you playing on?
Xbox.
Never mind.
PS5.
Even so, never mind. Damn it. I just hope
It's
he's
not
just
even
carrying.
like I'm stuck.
Because I just want to. Yeah, I want to get through Erd Tree as well, but I don't want to do it on my own because it's just a pain.
There's no way of getting through Erd Tree.
No.
I mean, no, probably not. I made it to Mesmer.
Oh,
At the end of the year?
No, you're Mesmer. You're not getting through
Yeah, I'm not
Erd Tree.
yeah.
What are you at, Matt?
Oh God, I'm through Mesmer. What was the last boss I was on? I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like I went the wrong way.
Are you in the city yet?
Yeah, through most of that. Fast, like right at the end of that.
Oh, okay, you're pretty close then. You're not super far off. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm like right there. Yeah.
I did the centipede lady, and
Okay,
now I'm doing Mesmer. I'm trying to get to Mesmer. I hate Mesmer's Nights for some reason.
You did the centipede lady before the Mesmer.
Yeah, I just did the thing where I just go wandering in that game rather than like following set points.
I didn't know you could do the centipede.
You can do a lot before you do Mesmer.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've taken out the second of the dogs as well. Yeah.
Okay. I see. I see how you could do that. That makes sense.
Yeah. Fix is just like, he's like, I'm not part of this conversation. You'll get to it when you beat Elden Ring, mate. You'll know.
I will beat Elden Ring before the end of 2024.
Just need Jetty, yeah?
That's after he does the metaphor 10 hours, after he beats Indiana Jones.
Jetty, where you at? No, I can. Jetty's off for 3 weeks.
And also after Persona. After Persona as well, because Fix is spending in Persona.
I'm pretty sure I owe Stead something for not beating
You owe
Persona.
him pizza or something.
I owe him something, because I definitely didn't beat Persona.
Nope. I mean, it's
all right,
still
boys,
2 weeks to go.
Go on.
There's still 2 weeks to go. You could do it.
No.
No lie.
Let's not lie to the people. Let's not lie to the people. No. It's not happening. It's not happening. It's a shame, but it's not happening. All right. We need to get into the questions because we didn't get through the questions of last week. So here we go. Fix a sack. Remember, you can email them my Xbox and me podcast at gmail.com. First one's from a Wild Army Entrance and says, will any of the crew be checking out Fortnite RP mode? If so, what would you RP as in the game? Ooh. I guess I should start off because I'm the RP guy. No, not at all. You've got no chance in me touching Fortnite RP. Not going to happen. No.
Yeah. So I'm going to say the big problem is like GTA RP. It's 18 rated. Like, it's an adult game full of adult people having adult conversations in a game. I mean, granted, some of them are dumb, small brain conversations, but it's like, you know, there's a base level of the age
There's
there.
a rule set and a moderation team and ways to ban people and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. Fortnite does not have any of this.
Nope. Exactly. Yeah, I don't want to get involved in those conversations while I'm trying to pretend to be Captain America.
I did think that the 5v5 first-person shooter mode looked quite good, though.
Looks
amazing.
amazing.
Was great, yeah.
So let's play that.
Is that
we can
before
Marvel
or after
Rivals
Marvel
or
Rivals?
I'd rather play Marvel Rivals.
Exactly.
Okay.
You can't get both, Matt. Can't get both.
I mean, you can.
Well, no, you could have, because if we would have done it when it released, then it would be worth it. Now it's just us just doing it.
How about do it for content? Just do it for friendship.
Ew.
That's a good point.
That's disgusting.
You can say no to
sick.
friendship.
Oh, why?
Yes. No.
Well, remember. I want you to remember that answer. Remember the
So
no
I
to
think that's a no.
friendship. It makes
I
you
think that's
sick.
a no from everybody. I'm trying to get us out of everyone's time. Shut up, everyone. Snidge says, I've said that wrong, haven't I?
Nope, nailed it.
No, you said right.
Do you think the reason that Rebirth and Metaphor didn't win Game of the Year, I'm assuming he's talking about, is because they are both JRPGs? I feel a lot of people that voted would have struggled to pick between those two games. Krish, what do you think? Do you think that's the reason?
I don't think it's a choice between the two. I think the fact they're JRPGs partly is the reason. They are daunting, larger games, and I feel like Game of the Year as well. Somebody probably wouldn't be comfortable without giving something Game of the Year if they haven't beat it. I think Baldur's Gate, a lot of people are going to look at Baldur's Gate. I think Baldur's Gate is a huge exception because you can spend 100 hours in the first section of that game. If you wanted to. And so I think that is generally an exception. That is not the rule with larger games. So I feel like that's partly the reason. Astrobot, we talked about it whenever, I think last week. Astrobot's just an easily digestible game. It's a game that you can go into very easily and you can step out of it very easily. And it's not daunting to go back in afterwards.
Matt?
Yeah.
Remember, whilst you can vote for the Game Awards, you do not vote for the winner of the Game Awards. They are weighted. Unlike the Golden Joystick Awards, which is entirely fan voted.
I think the point is for like the people who do vote on the Game Awards, so not us, like the players, but like the actual panel.
Panels.
Sure, sure. And so, like their criteria for what they're voting for is very, very different, right? But I think what the insinuation of this question was that the audience vote was split because people were either voting for Metaphor.
I don't think it was the audience they were talking about. I think they're talking about amongst the panelists.
Oh, well, okay. Well, same.
I agree. I think it's a case of they both cannibalize each other, which would have eaten away at the total of votes they would have got, and the fact that they are JRPGs that are 100-hour plus games, that a lot of people wouldn't have. And I agree with Crash. I don't think. If this was just all of our jobs, I used to have that criteria, right? Of like, you have to beat the game, it should be beaten, blah, 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 blah. We've changed that now, obviously. Everyone's busy. Everyone's, got other things going on. But yeah, within our industry, I think they would be like, well, I haven't beat that game. I can't really give it Game of the Year if I haven't beaten it. So I agree with you both.
But also, Astrobot is a love letter to the industry and to the history of the industry.
I disagree.
So, industry people like that sort of stuff.
It's a love letter to PlayStation, not a love letter to the industry.
All right, but a love letter to the history, one of the most significant platforms in the history of gaming.
Sure, but
so
go on.
Nostalgia is deserved for Game of the Year.
I didn't say that. I said it's probably a factor in the way people voted.
No. You said the way you worded it made it seem like it was a very big part of why.
I think it's somewhat a part of the reason people would have voted for it.
Oh, 100%. It's a part of the reason. Yeah, I agree.
I think, yeah. It's the vibes of it, yeah, definitely. Like, people, like, it's definitely a contributing factor. Like, oh, like, I had a lovely time reminiscing about the history of PlayStation. But also, it's just a fantastic platformer. And yeah. With the Metaphor and Rebirth thing, kind of, yeah, I agree with what you guys are saying. I think, like, hard barrier of entry, the amount of time you'd have to put into it. Some people will 100% have said, well, if I don't beat a game, I don't want to vote for it. So there's multiple reasons why those two failed. And I think the fact that they are massive JRPGs would be a contributing factor, but not the sole factor.
Okay. Next question comes from Origin Cookie Man. It says, as another cross-platform domino falls with Fumito
Ueda.
Thank you. Shadow of the Colossus / Last Guardian. Next release is coming to Xbox. Do you think we might see a collection of his previous PlayStation exclusive releases come to Xbox? No,
I'm pretty sure those are published by Sony.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see this as a domino to the cross-platform conversation whatsoever.
No,
by the way.
me either. No, I agree.
Yeah. No.
No,
what they said.
Well, I guess it. Orange Cookie Man also says, does their formation explain why they got such a good reputation? I don't understand this question. Yeah, but what's the?
I think
what? I didn't.
The studio.
They're two different questions, though.
Yeah, for what? What is this?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. This was on here from last week, so you tell me.
Oh, this is you didn't link the article. It's this is a joke question because it links to the. I don't know if you guys saw the Wi-Fi signal thing with Troy Baker, Harrison Ford, and the guy from the Bethesda standing next to each other, and they look like the Wi-Fi signal. So that's what the question's on. Yeah,
it's not how it's little.
Yeah,
he's deceptively small. Yeah.
He is very, No,
I mean, Troy Baker's also, we've talked about this, like 6'3" or something. Like, he's tall.
Yeah. It's not that tall.
Again, I don't think he's that tall. No, look, I've been next to 6'3" dudes and been like, oh, you're really tall. When I've seen Troy Baker, I've never thought, oh, you're really tall.
Google it.
He's 6'3".
He might be 6'3"
according to Google, but Google's lie. Google,
I was going to say, it might be 6'3" on a
right.
good day. It might be a good day. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Maybe Todd just stood in a hole. Who knows?
Yes.
Annabeth says, do you think Astrobot's success has opened any doors for a non-Nintendo 3D platformer?
For other non-Nintendo 3D platformers.
Thank you very much.
No worries.
No.
I don't necessarily think it's got anything to do with Astrobot, but I do think we'll see more 3D platformers.
Yeah, we
But
will
we've always
now.
seen, but no, we've always seen 3D platformers. Ukulele did not come out that long ago. 3D Luck Tales or whatever that game's called.
Super Lucky Tale,
Yeah.
Crash. Put some respect on Super
My
Lucky
bad.
Tale's name.
That didn't come out that long ago. You see all the time demos of 3D platformers are well and alive. It's just most don't penetrate the market the way that Astrobot did because it doesn't have PlayStation backing it.
And if you're looking for one from this year, check out Nico DeRico. It was good.
Of course.
It's like a classic Crash Bandicoot platformer. It's good.
Of course. Nico DeRico, of course. I
Is,
had to forget about that guy.
Is that the one that's
What do you want from me?
basically?
It was reviewed well. It came out this year. What do you want from me?
No, nothing.
Which was agreeing.
Yeah,
I agree.
Everyone's heard of it.
Why am I getting shot? Why say fuck me for? What did I do?
You know exactly what you did.
To answer the question, no, I don't think so. I think Nintendo are still bossing this space, and Astrobot's an outlier. Like Chris said, the indie space are definitely still doing these. It's not like the door hasn't been open; just none of them have penetrated that door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see what Toast for Bob have to say. But go on.
Go on.
I was gonna say we'll see what Toast for Bob come out with in the future, but like you say, right now
They
it's
did-
PlayStation with an
Oh,
outlier.
they're doing Spyro, right?
They're going to
They
do a Spyro
teased it.
Crash
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did
but
Crash 4 penetrate the market like that?
No.
yeah.
Or yeah.
No,
I don't.
There's no way it's going to do well. It's too woke.
Just fucking
You don't like the game doesn't do it? It's woke.
You're right.
too many Spyros in my games. Yeah, too many dragons.
Dragons? Are you kidding me? That's the community we're
2024?
representing in games now.
Crazy. Trenturous says, do you remember the first time you played an online game with strangers? Crash, move your icon. I can't see the words. Strangers talking with a mic. What system was it? What game was it? How was your online experience? I hate you guys. I can't do that. Please stop.
Okay.
I forget that it pops up because it doesn't pop up for me.
Yeah.
Matt, I'll go to you. Do you remember the first game you spoke to strangers on?
I was trying to think. It's definitely 360, and so it's probably like Gears 1 or Call of Duty 4. But I think Gears 1 was out way before, right? COD 4, so I think probably Gears.
Gears 1? Okay.
Yeah.
I remember mine like it was yesterday. I've told the story many
Same.
times. Oh, go on, Desmond. What's yours?
Battlefield 3. Like, having like lifelong friends that we played that together with back in the day through 4, even some of 1 as well. But yeah, no, like, yeah, jumping onto comms and sending tanks flying across the map. It was, yeah, good times.
This is comms with strangers, correct?
Yes, I didn't know before. Like, yeah,
Got it. Okay.
yeah, I made friends through the game. Yeah,
Mine was Modern Warfare 2. I'm pretty sure.
Damn, you were late.
Before Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, that's late.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn. Oh, yeah, no, bro. That Xbox 360, Mike, when I got that, it was game over. Pro Evolution Soccer 6, I remember talking to some guy in Brazil, and that was my first game on the 360. Ghost Recon, like the original GRW, or the job, you know what I'm talking about. That, and then my most prolific one was obviously Gears, and then Rainbow Six Vegas 2. That's where I made my.
yes.
That's where I made my lifelong friends. That is where I made
OB.
my lifelong friends. XOB come from there. First, I saw my first pair of boobs because of that as well. Playing Strip Uno. Yeah,
Amazing.
crazy times, man.
Absolutely
Crazy times.
incredible.
Honestly, mate, it was a life-changing experience. I remember going to my mum, not about the boobs, it's a different story. Going to my mum and being like, Mum, I have to stay up until 4 o'clock in the morning. And she was like, why? I was like, because I am in a clan and I have a clan match tonight on Rainbow Six. And what happened? I
went to
fell
bed
asleep.
early.
I fell asleep at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I
Yes, you did.
didn't get to play. And I was only, and as we all know, I've never been that good at games, so I was a reserve player, and I
Okay.
was called in for this match, and then didn't get to play. I was heartbroken, absolutely
Oh, mate.
heartbroken. Shout out Spoonie, shout out XOB Patriot, shout out XOB Sparks, shout out who am I forgetting? There's so many. Firefighter, XOB Firefighter, shout them out.
if Fix had been able to stay up for that match, I just want to let you know Fix would have been the modern day
MLG
Faker.
Pro.
It would have been completely different. The esports industry would have been different than it is today. It would have been
I would have been the
significantly
face
better.
of MLG,
Yeah.
and they would never have went down and died.
Yep,
Facts.
yep.
Facts.
All from
Facts.
that one match.
Yeah, that one
from that
reserve
one
match. Yeah.
But yeah, that was honestly those times are times I think about regularly that were just like, oh my god, like rushing home. I am talking rushing home from school to get on to play with Spoonie, like who was like my best friend on the in the Xbox world. Like, Spoonie, you good? And like we pretended we were gonna meet up. He was from Canby Island, and like his brother ends up working at a school right next to my house. And he was like, yo, if you want to meet up, let me know. And I was like, yeah, man, we should meet up. Forgetting like stranger danger. Things like, yeah, mad times. But it's weird because obviously everyone knows my fiance's a teacher, right? And their school is very against video games as a whole. And I'm like, without these experiences that I went through, I don't know where I would be in life. Would I have been friends with you, Crash?
No, probably not.
No, I wouldn't, because it would have been like you're a stranger on the internet. No, I'm not talking to you. Would I have spoken to Alfredo? No, it wouldn't have happened. All these monumental moments. So it's a weird one. It's like, yes, of course, protect your kids on the internet, of course, but you need to have that weird like. I've got people. I was the kid, and then they were the adults, right? And now I'm the adult, and then there's children that like come into the stream. We want to play games, right? And it's like, there's that weird responsibility. If you're a good human being, you know how to do it right. And then, but like, it can also be taken. You're playing games with what? A 32-year-old? Why does he want to play games with you? You're weird. You like, it's a weird thing our industry has that no another industry has. Like, you don't go to the movies with fucking some 16-year-old who can play COD. Like, you know what I mean? Like, who's into fucking war films. So yeah, man, it's online gaming, bro. Changed my world, changed my life, and I'll never fucking forget it ever. Shout out my boys. XOB to the day that I die. Probably not until I can get MC Fixer, but it's fun.
Fair.
Valid.
Anyone? Anything else? Anyone want to add anything? No?
I want a good battlefield.
Last question. Yeah, keep waiting, mate. Next one and our last one for this episode comes from Samuel, who says, if you could ask Santa for one gift for Xbox, what would you ask for?
So the question is the gift for my Xbox, or is the gift for the company Xbox?
For the company Xbox.
I got one.
Go on.
A Super Smash Brothers Xbox game in-game pass that is regularly updated with new characters that are coming to Xbox franchises. I think it's just a good way to advertise your Xbox fucking Game Pass stuff.
Indie, you get indie now.
Yeah, put indie in it. Fucking put Fable Girl in it. Put
Fable Girl.
or even better, put Richard Idawadi in it.
Did he get cancelled? I don't know.
Did he?
I have a.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Oh
briefly.
no! What did he get cancelled for?
Did he
for
get
some-
like really canceled or like people just got?
No, not really. I think he supported the writer of it crowd, who's been very anti-trans for a while.
God damn it.
But he didn't support
I-
his opinions. He supported his right to have them, kind of thing, which is valid.
Oh,
We should-
okay.
People can have
I-
opinions.
Whatever.
I think I have the perfect one. It's imagine a new game releases for Xbox, right? And you have a service where you can play said games called Game Pass. And on that standard version, you could play them day one. That would be amazing. Santa, please.
For one
Please,
price?
Santa. For one price. Yeah, you don't got to go to the Ultimate Edition or buy a PC or just one price.
That sounds fucking amazing.
Right?
Like,
Yeah.
if that existed, I would buy that in a heartbeat.
Imagine if
Yeah.
they did that. I don't think. I just don't see it being feasible. Like, there's no way in this day and age that anyone could have ever done that in the past or in the future.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Who's not been? Despawn, you got yours.
Hi, Banjo Kazooie. Let's do it. Give them the 3D platform they'll want.
Nah.
Nobody wants it.
Nah,
People think they want it. Nobody
I'll be
wants
honest.
it.
I was just gonna say what Matt said, just like what they said. Just give us something that's like a Nuclear Instinct. There you go.
Yeah,
Let's
never
give Crash what he
happening.
wants. That's
I
never
didn't make
happening.
that because that's never happening. actually.
I'm gonna give something actually realistic that can definitely happen, which is Xbox. I will give you Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy VII Remake on Xbox for Christmas. Congratulations. You can finally experience one of the best games ever made.
Yeah.
You know, you cursed it, so it won't be coming out at least in the next year.
I don't think it's ever going to come.
No.
You don't think it ever?
I don't think it will now. I don't think it will.
At this
Unless-
point, no.
It could if the third part releases and then they release like the trilogy on Xbox.
The trilogy
in,
pack.
Like,
What you think?
5
Like,
years
that's
time.
how they get out of the contract. Is it? It's not it's not individuals. It's the trilogy pack.
That's what Mass Effect did with, EA did with Mass Effect, if I'm not mistaken. It didn't come to
Kingdom Hearts
PlayStation
did.
until this. Kingdom Hearts as well, yeah.
Oh yeah, Kingdom Hearts. Yeah.
I think
Kingdom Hearts finally
Bioshock
came
as
in
well
free
was
drops.
like a bundle for both of them too. So that is like there is track record for that being out in
happen.
release.
Could happen.
It could.
Could happen. All right, let's plug. Get ourselves out of here. Matt, what you got to plug this week, dude?
Go to the Discord and give us some stuff for the things.
Matt,
You nailed it.
just promote
Wow.
better.
You nailed it.
Matt, what Matt is trying to say is give us your game of the year, end of year game of the year choice. We need it in a 30-second video, no longer. Landscape, please, at the highest quality in which you can deliver it to us. We will make a tab on the Discord for you to drop your Google links in, and Deekspawn will put them into the episode. He doesn't know that yet, but I've decided.
What?
Is that what you want, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, I said exactly that. I don't know why you need to repeat me, but whatever.
Okay, perfect. Crash, we got to plug.
Podcast reviews, go to Apple Podcast Services and leave a review. We have a brand new review from America that came in on Friday from I'm Ray.
Okay.
5 stars. Title of it, Level Up with My Xbox and Me. Love the title.
Oh.
Nice.
My favorite gaming podcast. These guys are like NPCs in a Bethesda game, full of quirks, occasionally glitchy, but always entertaining. I love that. That is probably my favorite description of the podcast.
Is that
I'm gonna be
not like
honest.
100% true?
That's,
it is.
top tier.
Highly recommended for anyone who wants gaming news with a side of amusing banter. I love the review. Thank you so much.
That might be the best review we've ever got.
I think so, to be honest. That, like, you know, when games get the Game of the Year edition and they put the reviews on the cover, that would be our review for the podcast. Yeah.
I like it.
Damn, that's actually that sums
We might
us
steal
up.
that.
Can I use that for our bio? Can that be our bio from now on? It's like, what is my Xbox and me? Bam, that's what it is.
I mean, it's in the public domain.
We're not going to credit you at all either, by the way. I
Not a
hope you
chance.
understand that.
Not a
You're not
chance.
getting credited. We came up with that. You can pretend you did, okay? And when we make it really big, you're going to say, "Oh, they stole this from me," and we're going to pretend we don't even know you. This episode didn't even happen. I'm going to delete this episode from
This episode gets deleted. All the other ones are here, and just
every
this
single
number's
one.
gone.
Just this one's gone. Just this one, bro. Before I know we got to go. I know you got to go, but it is a mad one, right? Like people actually love this show. And after every week, I'm like, should we just quit? Like, I'm done. Like, I'm checked out. Are we over? Like, it's been almost 10 years. Do we quit? And then, like, we get an email like this, and I'm like, we're back, baby. We're back. Like, there is somebody that cares about us. We're in. Yeah. Mad.
I like that your new strategy for that is to just get us all cancelled. You're like, what should we talk about this week? Oh, let's talk about how the gaming industry's worked. Like, yeah, cool. Good idea, Fix.
It's not what I
Podcast will still be around in 2 weeks' time.
I'll still be around. So you can't cancel someone that can't be cancelled, you know?
We do have another review, kind of.
What?
Kind of.
Despawn has a kind of half review thing.
I did.
Okay.
Oh,
I got a DM.
A DM on Xbox.
I
Did
don't
you
think
get?
those are qualified DMs.
Quick
They don't
question.
cancel, they don't.
I'm gonna say, quick question. Matt, did you get the DM or did I get it?
Did you like
Let
that?
me, let me tell the damn story. I was gonna bring it
Did
up,
you
but it
like
got to
that?
me.
Damn, he did you like that?
Did me?
Go on then,
Yeah.
talk about it. Talk to me. What happened?
Nah, don't worry about it. It's fine. It's just a message. No, we got a message. Wow, he's gone. Okay, bye. We got a message from the wonderful Rizla Dan Gargan. Shout out to you. Randomly on Xbox, as Matt says, I listen to my Xbox and me every week. You guys are doing a brilliant job. Thumbs up.
Aw, thanks, mate. I don't get any Xbox messages.
Shout out,
My gamer
Rizla.
tag's XOB Fixer, XOB space Fixer. Feel free to send me messages. It'd be nice. It'd be cool. Cool. We got no reviews in the UK, Crash, just so you're aware.
You guys are slacking so far behind right now.
We really are. Considering I went to America how long ago, and I went and reviewed it like 3 times there in America. So not great. Not.
I mean,
great.
he didn't do that. It was legitimate reviews from.
Oh no, it weren't me. Some other guy called MC Fixer, I swear. I haven't got anything to plug. Christmas, we'll do Christmas jumper episode next week. So we'll be wearing Christmas jumpers. We'll be having, again, we said it last week, but we'll say it again, we're gonna have a chat. We know we still got goals to put out for you guys. We'll have that all sorted for the new year. We know we've got a 24-hour stream we've got to do for you guys. I promise we'll sort it for the new year. This Christmas has just absolutely creeped up on me out of nowhere, if I'm being totally honest with you. But it's coming, we'll sort it. Me and Crash said we're gonna try and commit to 1 day a week playing games. I am drawing back on streaming as a whole over on my channel, my personal channel, MC Fixer. So yeah, that should leave more room for more VOD content here on MXAM. We will eventually be rebranding to MXAM. The My Xbox and Me podcast will still be the My Xbox and Me podcast, but MXAM will become what the brand will be. So yeah, man. Keep it amazing to one another. We appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you all for listening. If you do listen and you're like one of the lurkers, we would love to hear from you. Join the Discord, send us messages, things like that. It helps more than you can imagine, because sometimes it does just feel like we're talking into a void. And when we do see real feedback, it does, for me at least, it keeps me going. It really does. So keep it coming. Appreciate you all. Until next time, we will love you, leave you. See you all later. Good boys.